The greatest power you possess is your ability to choose. Join Lowe's Moore as he reveals how you can begin to maximize that power by exploring yourself on the deepest levels and committing to making lasting and positive changes. Get ready to achieve breakthroughs that will lead to accelerated growth and transformation, because you are now tuned in to The Blueprint.
Why they actions contradict the lamb. I'm fellowshipping when I'm with the fam. That's more relations, that's foreign and foreign.
Good evening and welcome back to the Blueprint Podcast. I'm your host, Lowe's Moore, and I'm excited to be back again with you for another Blueprint Podcast. I mean, let me kind of just go back for real quick. I just want to go back for a second. Keith Danzy, you guys probably, that was an amazing show with Keith Danzy. He was one of my mentees back in the day. And that show was amazing because I spent a little time, about 7 years. My wife and I, we spent about 7 years in Albany, New York. And I was playing with the Albany Patroons. And that show was amazing because we brought on so many young men that we had the chance to mentor back then. And that show was very, very powerful, man, and very loving. Getting an opportunity to use your platform so that you could be blessed. I was blessed. I was blessed to play in the NBA. I was blessed to play in the CBA. And I'm sorry I'm kind of starting out like this, but I wanted to say I was, just blessed. When God gives you gifts, you got to use them to the best of your ability. But one of the things I was just saying yesterday as one of my other guest on the show was Manny Maldonado. I mean, Manny had Choice New York City basketball, and he does ministry through basketball. And yesterday, I had the opportunity to go down and speak at one of his events down in Brooklyn, New York. It was very powerful to be able to go down there, and it kind of connects what I was talking about with Keith Danzy, mentoring, mentees, giving back, using your gift so that you could be blessed. And when you're blessed, you could be a blessing. And I got an opportunity to speak yesterday at the shows in New York, and it was a really good time. I got the chance to sit around with some guys and just kicking it and talking and having fun, man. Talking about faith, which is important. Talking about your gifting and your purpose, and being born to use those gifts and finding the purpose for those gifts. It was very powerful talking to those guys, man. They were saying thank you, man. Appreciate what you shared with us, and it was just really a great time. So Keith Danzy, right, and then Manny Maldonado, my two recent guests on the show, man. It just gets so good, right? And even in the midst of it, it's been a great summer. It's just been so good to be able to, have these amazing shows, learn about these guests that we have on, hear their stories, and it's just been an awesome time. Just spending time with individuals. I mean, and then in the midst of all that, in spite of the rain, in spite of the storms and all the crazy stuff that's going on, right? The Olympics happen. I mean, one of my favorite times every 4 years, one of my favorite times of the summer is have the Olympics. And you know what? I'm proud of the Olympics itself, right? Because I remember writing a paper, right? I remember writing an amazing paper in school on how the impact and power of sports, and how it's the one time that we would stop war, right? And then we would go and compete, all the countries around the world will come together and compete. And really, it's just an amazing time for all those athletes to realize that, you know what, Americans are not bad. Not all Americans are bad. Not people from all different countries are bad. Every country has their negative, it has their people, right? And you know, it's just really, really just a powerful time. And so I'm just excited. I know you guys from America are excited. I'm truly excited as well. And you know, hope you're enjoying the Olympics. They had the close in the day, and just a good time, man. So as I move forward, right, as I move forward with the show, I want to say thank you guys for each and every week for your support of the Blueprint Podcast. Man, it's I'm having a ball. And check this out. This is what I pull. I pull this up, you know, today, and this is 92. This is the Dream Team hat from 92. I don't know. We gave out a lot of these. They gave them to the Boys and Girls Club back in the day. But USA Basketball Dream Team 1992. I thought I'd just bring that here, and you know. So let's get rolling. Let's get rolling here. Let's jump right into it. I want to get my book of the week. Yeah, this book, this young lady, Miss Bushel, and I had a chance to see her on I think it was CBS. She was on the show. She was introducing this book, and this book is going to be relevant to the show today, right? It says Life-Changing Magic Drumming, right? And this is a new book that's out, and I want to show this clip, right? I want to show this clip about the book, and it's going to be awesome. You're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, she was really amazing. She was on the news the other day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Called the Life-Changing Magic. 14-year-old drumming superstar Nandy Bushel in London earlier this year. Folks, you will remember that she grabbed everyone's attention when her videos went viral, and then she challenged rock star Dave Grohl to a drum battle during the pandemic. She was only like 10 years old. That's when we saw her. Since then, she's played live with the Foo Fighters and Tom Morello, and she's toured the UK, playing for huge audiences. She is out now with a new book. It's called The Life-Changing Magic of Drumming. It's part of her personal story, and it's also part drum lessons. Nandy Bushel, so proud, so happy to have you here first on CBS.
Yeah, Nandy Bushel. I mean, I enjoyed I enjoyed the interview. If you get a chance, go to CBS, check out the interview. If you got somebody that's interested in particularly drumming, right? This young lady's been doing it for a long time now. She's been invited to be a part of some rock and roll situations and bands, and she's really doing her thing. But I just thought I'd share that book with you. And here's my word of the week.
Do you have two books? Oh, you just showed.
Yeah, I just show some pictures, not two books, but just this young lady when she's been drumming a long time. You know, Nandy Bushel. And she's been drumming for a long time. Look like she love it. I mean, that's what's so crazy is that like she look,
She looked like Sheila E.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's like she reminded me of Sheila E. too. I mean, she looked like she really enjoyed it. You know what it reminded me of when I was listening to her when I first like started playing basketball. Right, not only drove my mother crazy, but I was dribbling up and down the hallway in the projects. And then people were calling upstairs to my mother. They was coming up, knocking on the door. We're tired of that basketball, because you just dribbling that ball so much. And then they had to put a time restriction on me, and and so I couldn't dribble after 6 o'clock. So once 6 o'clock came, I had to put the ball away. But
you think about Sheila E., but the other person that was I think could play every instrument was Patrice Rushen.
Yes.
I think she also could
Oh,
play every instrument.
amazing.
Yeah, she
Patrice
like
was
Prince.
amazing.
She was like Prince.
Yeah,
Prince was
yeah.
could play every instrument.
Yeah, she was amazing, man. So yeah, and then here's my
Word of the week.
word of the week, prodigy. That's what they called Miss Bushel. She's a prodigy, right? Anybody know any other people? I think you know who I think was a prodigy? Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, most of those people during Motown era were prodigies.
Yeah, no, but I mean,
Michael Jackson was a prodigy.
oh yeah,
Ray
Michael.
Charles was young.
Yeah, Ray Charles was a prodigy. Yeah, there's been a lot of them. There's been a lot of people, man. That's a very powerful word right there, prodigy. That means that you have something, you have a gift, right? You do something, you just born with it. You know, born to play the violin, born to play the piano. I know a bunch of people that sat down at the piano and just start playing. I mean, that's a prodigy. Right, so that's my word of the week, and here's my Pierce Hopper affirmation moment. Hit 10 painful truths, and it says the average human life is relatively short. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, we think there's 100 is a long time. It's a long time to us, but it's relatively short. So make the best of your life. You will only ever live the life you create for yourself. Right?
Good.
You got to create that life, man. When I was talking about like this whole basketball world, this whole basketball life. I created my basketball life, man. It started with the idea, started with a dream, started with the Knicks playing, and very powerful.
Yes.
And it says, being busy does not mean you're productive. You're being
That's
productive.
a word from the Lord right there.
You can be busy, but not be productive. And it says some kind of failures always occur before success.
Wow.
I don't know. I think that's one of the most powerful commercial was Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan saying, "Hey, I failed in my life over and over and over and over again, but that's how and why I succeed." Right? I mean, that's powerful all by itself right there, man. That affirmation. So yeah, I mean, I got a couple more here, and so I can get out the way with this. Right? I think I'm on. Thinking and doing are two different things. Right? There are those who think about stuff,
Wow.
and there are those who do stuff. Right? And I want to jump down here. Right? What you own is not who you are.
Wow.
Some people think they got a car and they got a house and they got things, right? And they think that's what makes them who they are. Playing professional basketball is not who Lowe's Moore is,
Wow.
right? And so yeah, it's just, I mean, whew, those are great quotes and great affirmations. And it's this number 10. See number 10. Everything, every change, every second. Everything changes every second.
Wow.
How you like that one? Everything changes every
I
second.
wish these pains in my hip would change.
Some people are simply the wrong match for you. Yeah, I'll move on from that one. Okay, let's jump over into my music and my music and movie of the week. All right. All right, we got some little technical stuff going on here, right? And we're going to talk about this a little bit further, but unlimited touch. You remember unlimited touch?
Nope.
All right, well, we're about to find out, right? Unlimited touch is my music of the week, and, right, Color Funk. We're going to learn a little bit more about that, too, why I selected it. And then the movie of the week is Twister. My wife and I, usually what happens, we go to the movies, my wife and I, and you know, somebody's not watching the movie, right? And that's usually my wife. She used to get there and fall asleep during the course of the movie, but she's this time she could not fall asleep because Twister was amazing, right? It was an amazing movie. So let's get forward. I got my person of the week. Because we got to move along now. Yeah, I got my person of the week, Rye Benjamin, right? And man, I remember Rye. He won the gold in the 400 hurdles, and he's just amazing. I'm excited. The whole Mount Vernon is excited. We're gonna be celebrating Rye for a long time. Remember the last Olympics, he came in second place, won the silver, and then now he's won gold. So, man, congratulations, Rye. There go Rye and Ron Nemhart. Mr. Ryder. You remember Mr. Ryder back in the day, gym teacher? Mr. Ryder. There goes Mr. Ryder. He's still running. Mr. Ryder's got to be almost 90. He's still running out there, but wow. So, all right, let's get rolling. We got some things to get through here. I want to say happy birthday to Uncle Ernie, right? Many more. Got to get over there and check out a game, whether it's a football or basketball game. And then to my lovely wife. 41 years we celebrated, on August the 6th. And that was amazing. It's been amazing 41 years, too. It's just been amazing. And happy birthday to my wife, who turned
Not even
on August the 7th. Happy birthday to you. Love you. Oh, man. Awesome, man. It's awesome to have them birthdays keep coming. Right? And then coming soon, next week, Jeff Dixon. Man, grew up with Jeff. He was a young guy when I was at the Boys and Girls Club. He was one of the young guys growing up in the club. Guys we try to be mentors for back then, try to be an example for. And now he's the manager. Manages a number of entertainment individuals in the entertainment world. And one of the best friends, Ludacris, he manages Ludacris, and we're looking forward to having a wonderful conversation with him next week. Right, so let's get rolling, man. I got a quick intro here, and we're gonna get right with my guests.
TC drum session or intro?
Intro.
There's two.
Just one. This says two.
Hello, my name is Tony Cintron, and I am presently playing drums with the Hollywood All-Stars, Steve Gasper's Hollywood All-Stars. Honored to be here and honored to have been a part of this whole project with the Field of Grace album, and happy to be here debuting that album and playing with these legendary musicians here. Drums are very important for this music. It's just about laying a groove and making the music feel as danceable as possible. I've been playing drums a long time. I've been in this business for over 40 years, and again, just really blessed and thankful to be doing this.
Tony Cintron, what's up, man?
Lowe's Mall, Patrice, I saw those pictures and then I really remembered. Then it started coming back. I remember.
He said it started coming back, man. He seen those pictures. He said it started coming back.
I saw some pictures.
Who you were?
that face, I know that face because I don't forget face. I'm telling you, people who know me know that I don't forget faces. So, anyway,
yeah, nah, man. I was listening to you. I pulled that little clip because, 40 years. When you were talking about what you were doing for 40 years and your love for it, it was just, I was like 40 years.
yeah, right. You think about it, and so many decades, 4 decades have elapsed, and I'll say it, and I say it every day that I wake up that I'm blessed, and that I'm still relevant in this business. With everything that's going on in the world, going through the pandemic. I lost a few, we lost our bassist from Unlimited Touch, Sandy Anderson. He had some underlining, conditions going on, but we lost him. And to do to still be doing what I've always loved to do ever since high school, ever since 16. My when I turned 16, I don't know if you remember Brenda Delaney, the Delaney's in high school, very prestigious family in the medical world. And anyway, that was my high school sweetheart. And for my birthday, she took me to see Earth, Wind, and Fire at Madison Square Garden, and that was the changing point in high school. That's when I knew what I wanted to do. Sitting in Madison Square Garden, looking up at that stage of Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I said, "That's what I want to do. I think I can do this." And but anyway, I don't want to start talking lows.
Yeah, but no, that's a good way. That's a good way to start because I was kind of mentioning earlier in regards to a prodigy, right? And not everybody's a prodigy.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, we see something, right? And then we say, "Oh man, I want to be that."
Yeah.
Right, and then we kind of start on our journey.
Yeah.
Right. So one of the craziest things is that I remember the story when Jesse Owens said it was somebody who was one of the fastest men in the world. And he spoke to them, one day, and they recognized him as the fastest human being in the world.
Yeah.
Right. And after that, he said, "Man, one day I'm going to be the fastest human being in the world."
Yeah.
Right. And then, of course, Jesse Owens was known as one of the fastest human beings. At that time, he was the fastest human being in the world. And he did a speech at Carl Lewis's school. I think he was in middle school.
Wow.
He heard him speak, and he said, "Man, that's what I want to be. I want to be one of the fastest human beings in the world." Yeah. And something sparks you. You need something to spark you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I never wanted to be. Let's get back to the word prodigy. First of all, that opening, I wanted to commend you. That opening was great of your show. And Nandi Bushell, I know who she is. Actually, I'm going to England on Thursday, and I've been trying to see if I can find somebody that can connect me with her because I wanted to invite her and her family to the show that I'm doing in London. In any event, that girl's a prodigy. That's an example of a prodigy. Personally, in regards to what I decided that I wanted to do when I was in high school, I never wanted. First of all, I'm not a prodigy. I wasn't born a prodigy. I was born with the seed. I was born with the seed, and people recognized that seed. People would say to me, "You got something." Like the right people said, the right things to me, and I would hear it. But I knew that I had a lot of work to do. I wasn't that super gifted, new kid on the block. I wanted to go to school and study. I wanted to go to college. You remember Mr. Forenza, the vice principal?
Oh yeah, yes.
He said to me, "Tony, I had such a great relationship with everybody in high school. That was another major part of being able to make the right decision for what I wanted to do." Mr. Forenza said to me when he saw the performance that I put together. You remember the assemblies?
Oh yeah.
You do? I don't know if you ever got to go to the assemblies that I put together.
What year did you graduate?
I graduated in '78.
So I was already gone.
You were gone.
I graduated with Calvin.
He graduated with Calvin Wallace. Yeah.
Yeah, so you were gone, Lowe's. But ask Scooter. If you ever talk to Scooter, what about those shows that Tony put on with his band in high school? And Mr. Forenza saw one of those shows, and he said, "You need to go to Juilliard." And I was like, I didn't know where I was going to be going. All I know is that I had the right people. Let me get back to the Delaney family. Very prestigious family in the medical field. Black family, African-American family. and they recognized my skills and they helped direct because my parents didn't really have that knowledge. And my parents knew that I had some talent. And my dad said, if you want to play drums, I would suggest that you learn how to read music and study. So at the age of 13, 14, I started studying privately and just to learn how to read music and so I can improve on my drumming skills, but with no intention of becoming a professional drummer until I hit 16. And professionally, what I was thinking professionally wasn't, I didn't want to be the best drummer. I just wanted to play music. You know, I wanted to get better at what I had, improve, and be able to have those experiences musically. I wasn't thinking about how much money I was going to make. I wasn't thinking about it as a career. I just went with the flow, and it was what was Mr. in Division C that went to Tennessee State?
Oh, Mr. Warren.
Mr. Warren. Mr. Warren
Yeah.
was good friends with my mom and my dad, and Hector was in that division. But Mr. Warren saw the show too, and he said by the time I was a junior, he said to me, "What are you thinking about going to school?" I said, "I want to go to a really good music conservatory, but I don't think I can get in because I wasn't classically trained." However, by the time I was a junior, the Delaney's hooked me up with Manhattan School of Music. They knew that one of the vice presidents of the music program there, and they gave me an audition as a junior. So I got a scholarship to the Manhattan School of Music prep division. So as a junior and senior in high school, I would leave school early Friday morning, and my mother would take me to the train station, Metro North, and I go into the city. By noon, I was on the train to go to my music lessons on Fridays and Saturdays.
Wow.
And that was an awakening because when I was in that school, it was classically oriented. There was no jazz program, and I loved jazz. I started listening to jazz by the time I was 16, and I couldn't compete. I wasn't classically trained, and Mr. Warren said to me, "Well, if you're thinking about going to school, why don't you try Howard University? They got a great jazz program." So I looked into the Howard University jazz program. I went and did an audition. They took me into their jazz program and gave me a $5,000, scholarship for the first year, which was something, right? It wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
And that was the move. Do you remember a brother named Philip Hamilton from Mount Vernon High School?
Oh yeah. I remember Philip.
That's my brother. Philip and I, we've known each other since we were 14. We both went to Howard together.
Oh, okay.
And that was a short stint because when we came back for spring break in '79, I did an audition, and it was an audition to go to Japan.
Wow.
With a jazz guitarist. So things started to happen for me as a freshman in college. But also in the background, there was these two brothers, Lenny Underwood and Sandy Anderson, the bassist that I said to you that we lost from Unlimited Touch. They were the founding fathers of Unlimited Touch. They were two brothers in the Bronx, and they were having issues with the drummer and the guitarist because those dudes, they were about hanging out, drinking, hanging out, partying, and we were chasing another dream. I was chasing a musical dream. Philip was chasing the same dream, and we hooked up with those guys, and we started working in the studio in Manhattan at a very early. By the time we were 19, we were doing that, and I went back to school, came back, went to Japan, came back, and we were just rehearsing for about a year in the studio. Yup, that group minus the two girls. So what happened was I'm trying to do this.
And man, you look like a little baby there, man.
By that time we were 20 when that record came out. But I'm trying to put this together so that I don't have to elaborate on all the details. Coming back, we were just rehearsing, and you familiar with Crown Heights Affair?
Yes.
Band Crown Heights Affair.
Mm-hmm.
They were rehearsing.
And I remember Unlimited Touch.
I'm glad you do because I didn't think you ever. I for some reason I always felt like people from Mount Vernon, they heard about us. They heard we had a record out. This band from Mount Vernon, Stephanie James and Tony Cintron and Phil Hamilton, but we never got like, man, we just never got the we never were asked to come to Mount Vernon and do something for the city and for the kids, you know, and come back to the high school. And I could have brought the band back to Mount Vernon High School, you know, but we never, you know. So I'm glad you remember.
Yeah, I do, because remember it was Sky's the Limit,
Well,
right?
I was in the band.
Yeah, with Charles Hardy and those guys.
Yeah,
and,
Hardy, man, that's my buddy. I speak to Hardy all the time still.
Yeah, and that's my buddy. We grew up together, same age. We graduated together.
Yep.
And there was another group. I'm trying.
Sky's the limit.
Sky's the Limit. That's
Yeah,
what we were just talking about. Sky's the Limit.
Yeah.
That's what Charles Hardy.
Board of Directors was another band.
Yeah.
Those bands were run by
What's the
Richie
one
Levis.
from Greenberg?
A band from Greenberg.
Yeah, they had a little hit in Greenberg. Greenberg had a little group.
You talking about Bits and Pieces?
Now, Bits and Pieces were from Mount Vernon too.
Yeah, they had Junie Jordan and Howie.
Junie, yep. Oh,
and Howie,
they were before Hardy and them.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, and actually they sung at our Hardy and them sung at our reception when we got married.
Oh, that's cool. Well, you're a little bit older than me, you know. So I've skipped. Let's go back to high school.
Okay.
In high school, I was already playing drums by the time I was in 7th grade, and I went to Catholic school. I went to Our Lady of Victory in Mount Vernon.
Okay.
On I forgot what street that was up there on the north side. Anyway, and I was playing drums. By the time I was in 7th grade, I didn't own a drum set, but I used to borrow a drum set because my parents at that time, you know, couldn't afford a good drum set. So I would borrow a drum set from a friend of mine in the building that actually, you know who he is. You remember Mike Scott?
Yeah.
Mike had a drum set. Mike was my neighbor, bro. This is like, now you're going to find out more things. Robin Givens lived upstairs, his aunt.
Yes.
You know, where we grew up, 30 Park. We called it's 30 Park where I grew up, Mount Vernon Plaza, Westchester Plaza. And
Yeah.
Mike had a drum set, and Mike went to the same school we did. He went to Our Lady of Victory. And Mike was boys with my brother David. So, you know, one Christmas, you know, my brother said, Michael got a drum set for Christmas. I said, what? He didn't get a basketball or like some new sneakers or something?
Yeah,
Like,
he ended up playing basketball. He didn't do nothing with that drum set.
some new Chucks, man, or something. He got a drum set, and like, I wasn't like upset or like, you know, like, why did he get a drum? I was just like confused, you know? Mike never said anything. So one Saturday morning, I went and knocked on his door, and Miss Scott opened the door, and I said, Miss Scott, I said, is Mike around? She goes, yeah. She wakes him up, and I go, Mike, man, is there any way I could borrow those drums that you got? He goes, yeah, no problem. He lent me the drum set. So, you know, I really thought, whenever I got that drum set, I would take advantage and practice, you know? Like you said with the basketball, I lived in the building. My father was the superintendent, so he had this room, his little work room. I'd set him up there, and I'd drive the people crazy on Saturday morning. And they'd come downstairs and complain to my father and say, like, what's this drumming going on? You know? And that same thing. It's like I had to stop. Then there were like, you know, there were intervals, you know, play times when I could play. At night, definitely couldn't play. So we went through that. You know, I go through elementary school, and by 9th grade, my parents knew that I was serious about drumming. And on my birthday on April of my freshman year, they surprised me with a professional drum set.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my pops and moms got me my first Ludwig drum set from Manhattan, from Manny's Music. And that's all of that stuff just inspired me. And, you know, I started putting my first band together. My brother David, you all don't know David. He's the quiet one. He's the ninja. But, you know, he worked with Heavy D, and he's on all those Candy Rain records, So For Real with Heavy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's David. So I talked David into learning how to play keyboards and piano. So by ninth grade, we were moving, like we were moving forward. I had a band, had my first band. Junie Jordan came to me. He heard the band. He's like, "Man, y'all got something here." He goes, "Let me get you some shows in Mount Vernon High School." And that's how we did Mount Vernon High School. And we didn't have a name for the band. And Junie Jordan said, "Let's just call it JPT, just put together." That was the name of the band. You know, just put together, because we're getting ready to do the assembly in Mount Vernon High School. Before he introduces us, Bill opens the guy. He sticks his hand in and he goes, "Tony, what's the name of the band?" I was like, "We don't have a name." He's like, "Just put together then, JPT," and that was the name of the band.
Wow.
And
Al Jordan was amazing, man.
Al Jordan was a teacher, man. He nurtured a bunch of folks, Hardy and Michael Chavis and Larry Bailey.
Yeah.
All those brothers. But let me not skip how, and again, nobody talks about this or has talked about it. Maybe they have. I haven't been involved in this conversation. But let's go back to the 70s when, you know, music, we know what music was like back then, man. R&B and all the influences of the great bands like Kool and the Gang. Crown Heights came to Mount Vernon High School. You were in college. Crown Heights Affair came to Mount Vernon High School, and all of that. Every time I saw things like that, I would just get more motivated. I wanted to be in a band, Lowe's. I did not want to be, you know, some famous drummer and moving, you know, just playing with everybody. I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to be stationed. I wanted to be in one band, and that band became Unlimited Touch out of high school. And that dream, you know, I reached that goal, and we reached it. Stephanie and I reached it. Philip, Audrey Wheeler Downing, who's married to Will Downing, Lenny Underwood, and Sandy, R.I.P. We had 2 hit records. I Hear Music and Searching to Find the One, and had more hits on that album that would have been hits, but we had too many bad experiences by being exploited by the record labels and management. We didn't want to be exploited. We all had talent individually, and everybody knew it. We were the next sheep. They were considering us as the next sheep, basically, is what they were saying. So
you guys were good, man. I mean, very good, and very talented. You know, my brother Doug was just on the. He just popped up there.
Man, how's he doing?
Man, Doug doing good, man.
Tell him
you know,
hey.
he's finally retired from the military. Yeah. He said, "My man, Tony."
My man, Tony. Do I respond to that?
Yeah, you can respond to it. He can hear you.
Dougie, much love. Oh man, Dougie.
Oh man, who else do you? You know they just recently. Yeah, he was talking about Atlantic Star.
Well, you know what? Porter Carroll, who was the drummer in that band, and one of the songwriters, we've been good friends ever since then, because Unlimited Touch, we did a lot of stuff in 2 years. The 2 years that we were out, we were on the charts. We were in Billboard magazine. We were in Record World magazine on the same chart with the Jacksons, behind Shalimar. We were doing it, and we did a show with Atlantic Star, and then I became friends with Porter, the drummer. We're still good friends to this day. He's been with Daryl Hall and John Oates. Hall and Oates, remember Hall and Oates?
Yeah, I remember Hall and Oates.
Baby Come Back. And
yeah, Baby Come Back.
Yep. yeah. That's where he's been. I believe the band from Green. Yeah, it was Atlantic Star. You're right, Patrice. It was that. That was the band. It was Atlantic Star.
Yep.
But yeah, you know, and let me say this: is that Denise Jenkins? Denise.
Yeah.
People say Unlimited Touch was legendary. I appreciate that, but you know what? We're still playing. We have a record that just came out, and we're just grateful that we're still legendary. You know, we haven't died off and we drifted, but that's because everybody individually. Audrey Wheeler Downing still sings background. She's the lead background vocalist for Shaka Khan. So if you see Shaka Khan, you see Audrey from Unlimited Touch. We did Lincoln Center on Thursday, and Louis invited Unlimited Touch members. I'm his drummer. I'm from Unlimited Touch.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's still like kind of letting people know they're around. We've done some shows in the last 4 years.
Oh,
You
well,
so
hey, well, we got to get. You got to let us know, so
yeah,
we can let everybody else know, so
uh,
we can go to check you out.
we did 2 shows in the last 4 years. We've done 3 shows in New York. 2 of them were at Cafe Wa. And the first day that we did a show, which was when they lifted the ban from COVID, remember when they people started going out, we did a show on a Monday night. And when we finished our sound check, we went outside. There was people around the block in line for the show that couldn't even get into the show because it was sold out. And half of those people were from Mount Vernon. People were screaming at me, "Oh, hey, what's up?"
Yeah, we
Hey, how you
represent,
doing?
boy. We support our people.
Oh
No, I
yeah,
know
yeah.
that. People came out. I mean, it was crazy. Dennis Pettiford came out with his wife.
Dennis.
And people that I just can't remember their names. And the Mount Vernon homies that I wish were there, they're not even in Mount Vernon anymore.
Yeah.
I saw Scooter in Florida. I lived in Florida for 10 years, and Scooter and I. It's been 10 years since I saw Scooter, but Scooter and I, when we graduated, we said one thing to each other. Number one, let's reach our goal. We both said that to each other when we graduated. I'll never forget that. And but when Unlimited Touch split up, we went through that long hiatus. We split up for those reasons. We were being taken advantage of. People were taking our money, our record label, our management. We weren't seeing dollars. So Philip and I started, we started playing with other people. I played with Tom Brown. Remember Funkin' for Jamaica Funk?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I went and did a tour
Jamaica
with Tom.
funk.
Yeah,
Is what? Yeah.
No.
I did. So right after Unlimited Touch, I did Tom Brown's tour. Then I did Phyllis Hyman. Remember Phyllis Hyman?
I remember Phyllis. I met Phyllis before.
I played with Angela Bofill. Then I started doing Gato Barbarian. I started jumping around, and that was just helping me, like with my jazz thing and just learning other styles of music. And I was still a kid. I was like in the minor leagues. I consider I was in the minor leagues, trying to like develop those skills so that I could, hit the majors and get that pop gig, and blah blah blah. And so, man, I've been blessed. I've played so much music, Lowe's. It's crazy. I can't even remember half some of the things that I've recorded, that I've done, and here I am today, man. Still, I'm grateful.
Yeah, no, I was, not that I was following, but you hit me up on Messenger, and I don't think I've seen it for a whole year.
That was
like,
I remember that. That I remember.
I was like,
dude,
when did you hit me, Tony?
I can't remember, but as the fact that you were older, I saw you play. I think it was your senior year. When did you graduate?
76.
Yeah, so I saw you play in your senior
year. Yeah.
And man, who's gonna forget Lowe's Moore? I mean, I wasn't big on basketball, but I used to go to those games just to watch you play. And the fact that you were left-handed it's like watching baseball and watching a left-handed. I just love that that lefty thing. As a drummer, I wish I could play lefty.
Right.
But you were an inspiration to a lot of people, man. In other ways, just coming out of Mount Vernon.
Well, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, bro. Never forget that.
So talk about we're gonna digress for a minute, man. So you talk about the music side of growing up, right? Talk about you mentioned your dad. Talk about your dad, siblings growing up. Talk about the impact that they had on you in regards to the importance of family, the importance of faith, and then also their push for you in regards to getting an education.
My parents, born and raised in Puerto Rico, came to this country in the 50s with nothing, no education. Look at that. That's in Puerto Rico, actually. Hector, as you see him laying there, Hector was born in Puerto Rico.
Laying there. Yeah.
That picture is from after when Hector was born. we had gone back. Hector was born in Puerto Rico, but my mother comes from a very, very strong Christian upbringing on the island. My grandmother just passed away at 103 4 years ago, and she was my rock in a lot of ways. She never judged. She just, said always said the right things, and if she felt like, you know, you weren't doing something right, she just explained it to you, like, she'd talk and but my parents, they came. That's Bobby Caldwell, man. That's it. So remember I told you I went to Japan. Oh wow, you got Dizzy Gillespie there. Um, you know, my parents were played a huge role. My family, even including my brothers. My parents recognized the talent, and they just wanted me to get educated. Yeah, his mom took it to a baseball game 2 years ago during COVID. Yeah, mom is great. She's 86 now. Just picked it down here. That's us now where we live in Danbury. That was just last summer. That was before an Unlimited Touch rehearsal. And
Wow.
my mom is special, man. I told my mom today, I said, I was giving her breakfast and I was kissing her on her forehead. I said, Mom, if it wasn't for you, yep, there she is with David. That's David sitting. That's at City Field. She loves baseball. I said, if it wasn't for you and Dad, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be doing what I'm still doing. I'm going to England on Thursday to play music in front of 5,000 people, and it's because of how she was her and my dad were dancers. They used to go salsa dancing every weekend at the Palladium in New York and go see Tito Puente and all those big, salsa orchestras. So that music was in my house. It was in 30 Park. Listen, if you knew who lived on that block, Lord, you'd be like, really? So the Stevensons, right? From the
Of
South.
course, yes.
Ben's,
Ben
Danny is
Stevens.
my mother's fifth adopted son. I don't mean legally, but Phil is the fourth. Is me, David, Hector, Phil, and then Danny. And my parents were just they were amazing. Just guiding and I lost my point there before I got to Danny, but help me out here. Where was I
You were talking about your mom and the
Yeah.
Stevensons and
Yeah, my parents were they wanted us to do the right thing, and so they created the music. So Danny comes from the South Side, growing up near the project, and like something inside Danny, he wanted to find his niche, in music, and he found us, and we brought him into our home, and we started listening to music, and just Danny comes from a singing family. I don't know if you know that, but that whole that whole family, Dizzy Gillespie. That's
wow.
it's kind of funny. That was a year after. That was 2 years after Unlimited Touch, and I never thought I'd do something like that. Dizzy Gillespie on a Grammy-nominated album. I got to play Stevie Wonder's on that album. Marcus Miller, all the greats, and I got to work with a lot of those greats. It's been the direction that my parents, prepared for us. They just wanted us. They left the Bronx, came to Mount Vernon, and it was the best thing they did, because I think if I would have grown up in the South Bronx where I was born, my life would have been totally different. I met so many great people in Mount Vernon, and they turned me on to great music. There were great musicians. Mount Vernon Vernon is legendary for a lot of the great musicians that some you probably don't even know. You know who Jeff Young was?
You said Jeff Young?
Yeah, Jeff Young.
Jeff Young.
He just recently passed. He was about your age.
Okay.
He was an incredible piano player that nobody knew about in Mount Vernon. And somebody discovered him in Manhattan on the street playing piano, trying to make some money. And he ended up becoming a piano player for 35 years for Jackson Browne. Jackson Browne is a rock legend. And
yeah,
just so many talented people coming.
And there was a drummer. I can't.
Scooter.
Scooter Collins.
I don't know if I know Scooter Collins, but
You
what's
know
the, the yeah, I know Scooter Collins, but I'm
Oh, you talking
saying
about the jazz drummer?
no. Yeah, he's over in England or something like that. He couldn't get
Yeah,
back
that's
here.
God,
Was
man. I know who you're talking about. That guy's
Steven? What's his
no.
name?
I want to say Al Jackson.
Alvin
Alvin. Yeah, Alvin Queen.
Queen. Yeah. Oh man, he's whew.
No, that's the jazz drummer.
Yeah.
He's
Alvin
been
Queen's a
he's been
legend.
he's been in Europe. So let's go back to Mount Vernon again. How all of these musicians that were coming out of Mount Vernon, you remember, named Richard Levester? You
Yes, sir,
remember?
of course. I know Mr. Levester. We call him Mr. Levester.
Okay, Richie. I called him Richie because I met him in Sam Ash and White Plains when I was 14. I was just getting ready to graduate from elementary school to go to Mount Vernon High School. I knew Philip, Terry Nichols. I knew those people that would come more and hang out on the north side of Mount Vernon just because of music. But one day, Sky's the Limit. Sky's the Limit was at their peak when you were in high school, and when I got to Mount Vernon High School, the year before I got to Mount Vernon High School, I heard about them. I went to see them, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was like, these brothers are from Mount Vernon, and they needed a place to rehearse. And guess where they came to rehearse?
Where?
In my father's maintenance office in Mount Vernon at 30 Park. They came to rehearse, and so I just wanted to watch. And my father and I are sitting there, and my dad was like, "Man, these guys are good." And and it was City Boy, Dennis Pettiford, Mr. Cool,
Mr. Pettiford. Yeah.
Pettiford, and Michael Chavis, and Hardy, and Larry Bailey, and there was somebody else I can't remember. But and then Alan Cole and David Harrison, all those brothers. So fast forward to the following year, freshman year high school, they were having trouble. The drummer's name was something Bryant, and he was an alcoholic by the time he was in high school, and unfortunately, which he never. And he was a great drummer. So I was at the music store buying some drumsticks the summer of 75 or 75, and Richie saw me in the store, and he recognized me, and he came over to me to say hello, and he goes, "Hey, we're looking for a drummer." And I went, "What?" And I said, "Okay, what do I got to do?" He goes, "Just come by the house and do a little audition." And I went to Second Avenue and Second Avenue and I don't know, Fifth Street, whatever, up there where Miss Martin's. Remember Miss Martin?
I remember Miss Martin.
Yeah, Miss Martin had her house over there. I walked from 30 Park up there, and I went out, did my little audition, and I got the gig. And again, I never looked back. Those brothers, Sky's the Limit, taught me how to play R&B music like old school. Blue Magic. I can play all that stuff till this day. Blue Magic and Double Exposure, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, that other stuff, the Delphonics. I know about all that. And, when I talk to other drummers, they look at me and they go, "How do you know about that music?" I grew up in Mount Vernon, New York, man. Home of Heavy D, Albie Shore, Unlimited Touch, three members from, I grew up on R&B, so.
Yeah, and then I think we were talking about before Heavy D, you had what's the rapper's name? Well, you had the Collins boys. They did DJing.
Yeah, that's Scooter Collins' sons.
The Collins boys, Mark Collins and all those guys. They were big time.
Their father was the drummer with Sky's the Limit.
Okay. Then they must have got it from that whole musical thing from their dad.
Yeah.
And then who else? I'm trying to think. I just had the pictures up on Pete Rock and CL Smooth.
Oh, yeah, Pete Rock. But I was going. The thing about that is that people go, "Do you know Pete Rock?" I said, "I know who Pete Rock is, but I don't know Pete Rock because I was doing it by the time I turned 20. Unlimited Touch hit, and then Unlimited Touch broke up, and I was gone. I moved to Brooklyn, and I was playing with everybody. Okay, so
Ask me what my first biggest gig was in 1980. By the time I was 20,
What's your first biggest gig?
Carnegie Hall.
Carnegie Hall. Woo!
Patrice asked
Wow.
me with who? Philip and I,
Who?
my brother. We went to Howard together. We graduated Mount Vernon High School together. We played at our graduation at Memorial Field with the gospel choir. We went to Howard. We dropped out of Howard, Unlimited Touch together, and then after Unlimited Touch, Roberta Flack calls me at my home at 9 o'clock in the morning in Mount Vernon to ask me if I could come and audition for her band.
Wow.
And she said to me, "You're friends with Philip Hamilton, right? The guitarist?" I said, "Yes, that's my best friend." She goes, "Tell him to come down too." And that was our first. We did Carnegie Hall. That was our first big gig.
Wow.
One of the kids that was on church went to Roberta Flack's school.
Oh, School of Music.
Lamont.
Lamont,
school?
yeah.
Yeah.
Roberta Flack School of Music.
She had a music school.
Where did Roberta have a music? In New York?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doug is talking about DJ Blade.
Oh man, yeah. Come on, those are. I know those names. I just don't know speakers.
Well, they used to have the parties, man. DJ Blade and them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hold on for a second. I want to show you this video, man. I think Unlimited Touch. You can show a little bit of that. What?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
That was in 2019 when we got back together.
Man, that was nice, man.
That was in Paris. Wow, where'd you find that video?
Man, they on you. I googled it, man. They on YouTube
Oh, you
and
got it on
everything.
YouTube? I haven't even seen that video, to be honest with you. That's crazy. I was like, for a minute I thought it was older, and then I was like, no, that was
That's more. I said it's more recent one.
Yeah, that's 2019 because that was Sandy playing bass, and then we lost him in 2020 from COVID. But
Wow.
yeah, that happened because. So I work right now with Louis Vega and Elements of Life. I don't know if you know who Louis Vega is, but he's a legendary DJ producer. He's got Grammy nominations. He's produced the Winans. He's produced so many people. He's worked, with all kinds of acts: R&B, jazz, Latin, gospel. I went to South Africa with him in 2016. I was living in Florida. He called me. He goes, "Tone, I need a drummer to go to South Africa. We're opening up for the Jacksons." I was like, "All right, I'm good. I'm there." And when we were in South Africa, we were having dinner before the show, the whole band, and somebody started talking about some record, and then the bassist said, "You know that's Tony on drums, right?" And he looked at me and goes, "You playing drums on that?" I said, "Yeah, that's the Unlimited Touch rhythm section." It was for other records. We did other records for other, for other artists. At the rhythm section, they wanted that sound. They wanted us, and the girls were saying, the song "Gonna Get Over You" by French Jolie. Gonna get over you.
Yeah, yeah,
Half of
yeah.
that is Unlimited Touch on that. Those are the girls. Oh my God, the song "Inside Out" by
In,
Odyssey.
yes.
Inside Out. Yeah, man, that's unlimited. Half of that is Unlimited Touch. So when Louis said, "Wait a minute, you play with Unlimited Touch?" I said, "Yeah, I'm the drummer." He goes, "Nah, come on, man. No." He goes, "That was my favorite band when I started DJing." He goes, "Are y'all still around?" I said, "You mean are we physically, around?" "Yeah, we're all still around, but we're not playing right now as a band." He goes, "Can you get that band together?" I said, "Absolutely." And
Wow.
that's what happened in 2016. I called everybody. So 5 years ago, 2019, he calls and says, I want to do a remix of I Hear Music in the Street, and I want to do a new single with the band. So that's what we've done in the last 5 years. The new single, Music is My Life, just came out on vinyl and it's streaming, and it's hot right now. Just like 2 months ago, it just came out. It's called Music is My Life, Unlimited Touch. It's Louis Vega featuring Unlimited Touch.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, man, it's right. So we did it at Lincoln Center. We performed it, and I know the rain. Listen, the rain killed it, but people that are true fans of the band, and my family, of course, my son came down from Massachusetts with his girlfriend, and they people close to us came down and supported.
Yeah.
But next show, I'll let you know when we do
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Let me know. And so talk about your family. You got mom and dad, but you
Well,
got
Dad,
family,
we lost our dad right before 9/11, unfortunately.
right?
That was rough, losing my dad. My dad was so inspired. My dad, that you asked me who my hero is, I won't tell you it's a drummer, and I won't tell you it's a musician. It's my dad. My dad was my hero. My dad was very supportive and just loved music. He loved all kinds of music. My mom was the same. They're my heroes. But my dad really guided. He just said to me, "Tony, learn how to read music, so you can be a good drummer, not just a drummer. You can be a musician. So I took that and I ran with that, and yeah, man. I have two sons. I have a son and a daughter. Well, I say two sons. I have a grandson. Um, I have a son, Julian. That's my daughter, Isabel. She lives in England, who I'm going to see this week. That's my lovely daughter. Um, and my son Julian doesn't do social media like some of
Eddie Johnson,
Eddie Johnson, man. I know that name. Oh, I
baseball.
know Eddie, man. He's like me.
He's
He,
still playing baseball.
he's still playing. He knows the MSBL. I was gonna do a tournament. That's me. And you see that picture right there, Lowe's? The one where I'm batting, I crushed that ball to left field. The two pictures on the bottom, that was just 3 years ago here in Brewster Baseball, working out because I was playing. But I tore my meniscus. There's Willie Randolph. That was 2 years ago. We did a celebrity softball game with Bernie Williams. And Willie Randolph asked me, he goes, what's the biggest memory you have about playing baseball? Because I told him I just stopped playing baseball last summer, man. At my age, I was playing with 30 and 40-year-olds. At my age, I would work out, and I told him I performed an unassisted triple play. Yes, but it hurts at this age, brother. I understand. That's why I had to stop because I got to play drums. Eddie,
Recovery time is now.
I didn't slide all the time. I didn't slide all the time at the second base because I'm a drummer and I make money doing that. So,
Yeah, and you got to get the feet out there and them hands up.
but to be able to tell Bernie Williams and Willie Randolph that I performed the only unassisted triple play and double play in the same game in Stamford, Connecticut, in that league, I'm good.
You good?
I
Yeah.
didn't get to do that in high school. They didn't give me that opportunity in high school, man.
And we saw Bernie. Bernie's a musician himself. We saw.
Bernie graduated from Manhattan School of Music after he retired from baseball. He went to Manhattan School of Music and he got his bachelor's in jazz performance.
I coached his daughter.
Yeah, my wife coached his daughter
Oh, really?
in basketball.
That's cool. That's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah. We can go through some pictures. I think we got a bunch of pictures up there.
Oh yeah, that was 3 years ago at the cutting. No, it was 2 years ago at the cutting room with Felicia
Hey,
Collins.
wasn't Losey at the cutting room? That's in
What's
the
that?
city.
Yeah, that's in Manhattan.
Yeah, because my son Lowe's, he's an entertainer. He sings too as well.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
That's
he just
that picture right there. Lowe's, that picture. Music is my life and the world is a dance floor.
Mhm.
I put that. That's when we were recording 4 years ago for the record that's out now.
Oh wow.
That was in Manhattan. Yeah, and that was a show that we did in Jamaica, Queens last year.
Wow.
Yeah, that's me at the just recently at the Berks Jazz Festival in Pennsylvania with the legendary Paulette McWilliams and the guy on piano.
Mhm.
That's Adderley Jr. He was Luther Vandross's musical director for all the years that Luther was alive, and the sister in the background, that's Paulette McWilliams. She was one of the background singers. And there's Philip all the way to the left. If you see with the brother with the baseball hat, that's Philip Hamilton.
Okay.
So we still work together. That's one of my biggest inspirations on drums. That's David Garibaldi. You remember the band Power Power?
Oh yeah.
Squid Cakes and What Is Hip, Soul Vaccination.
Yeah, dude, you going way back.
That was last winter over here in Connecticut. He invited me. I've known him since I was 17.
Wow.
Yeah, man, those are great, man. Yeah, that's in Paris, you know. Yeah, man, you're bringing up memories. I don't even look at this stuff and I probably have pictures all over. That's at the cutting room with Felicia. You know, there's Sandy. That's my brother. That's the Cafe One. That's my brother, the bassist. You know, he was great individual. Oh yeah, by the way, yeah, you don't even know this, and nobody would know from Mount Vernon, but I do play all of that percussion, all those percussion instruments. That's for a smooth jazz concert I did last year in Connecticut to raise money for scholarships for kids. So just doing my thing. Yep. Man, that was just a couple of these pictures were just like last week. You on it, bro? Okay, you see this right here? Ron Lawrence, one of the baddest guitar players ever. We lost him, unfortunately, 2 years ago. He played with Freddie Jackson. He played with Pieces of a Dream. Remember Pieces of a Dream?
I remember Pieces of a Dream.
He was the guitarist in Pieces of a Dream. One of the most talented guitarists that I've ever worked with. He was from New Haven, Connecticut, man. He was the third on my list as far as favorite guitarists. We're going to do a show. You need to come to the show in September. I'm going to put you on the guest list.
Okay. Yeah,
we're doing a tribute to him. Who's up there? Yeah, those are great. So there's one of my biggest influence on another big influence on drums down at the bottom. The brother the man with the big fro.
Yeah.
That's Buddy Williams. He's the one that got me to record with Dizzy Gillespie.
Oh, nice.
He's the one that recommended me.
When you talk about Dizzy Gillespie, you're talking about legendary.
Yes, sir. I'm not a legendary jazz drummer. I'm not a legendary drummer. People say that I'm a legend because I've recorded legendary records. I'm playing on hit records. I'm a hit maker. I've played on great records. I always say I've played with legends. I'm not a legend. I'm just grateful that I've been. They call me up from the minor leagues and say, "Hey, we need a relief pitcher. Well, let's bring Tony." You know.
Well, was it who did you just play with on Thursday?
Louis Vega and Elements.
Okay, so Louis said, it's not me. It's not Lowe saying it.
Louis.
Yeah, he said it. I mean, Louis Vega said it. I guess you played with him before.
Yeah.
And he said, on the drums, the legend, Tony Centro.
Did you just make that up?
Nah, he said it. I mean, he was introducing you. That's what he said.
Oh, at Lincoln Center?
Nah, it must have been you. Whenever you did it, I think it was someplace else. He was introducing the band.
Yeah, and it might have been at the Blue Note. When we played the Blue Note. You know the Blue Note Jazz Club?
I don't know the Blue Note.
Oh, Lowe's. You know what? Okay, I'm starting to get this vibe. You and Patrice that you all are homebodies and you don't get out as much.
Hey, you know where we went? We went to Birdland for our anniversary a bunch of times.
Oh man, look at that. See, I know you got it in you, Patrice. This is a personal invitation. 2 invitations. So Lowe's doesn't forget because he's probably forgetting. September 1st. It's a Sunday. It's in the evening after church, early evening. We're doing a tribute to Ron Lawrence at Toad's Place. Incredible, legendary musicians will be there. And then there's some time for this, but in February of the coming year, we're going to do 4 nights at the Blue Note with Louis Vega and Elements of Life.
Nice.
And so I'm extending that invitation. Y'all need to come through.
Oh, yeah, we got to go September 1st.
Please. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm mad. I was almost there in my car going to Lincoln Center. And I was
the rain. We played and people were there with umbrellas, and we did it. But we played an hour. We were supposed to do a 2-hour show. We were going to do a 2-hour show. There'd have been 5,000 people out there instead of 150. So it is what it is, man. It'll happen again. And I'll keep you all posted. But yeah, man, it's been a great run. I'm grateful. The people in my life, as you get older, you really learn who are the true people and true friends in your life. And I've also been blessed to not be, find myself, not finding myself in the past around the wrong people. I've always been, God has guided me, my path. Totally has guided my path.
Yeah.
And having a brother like Philip, who now unfortunately lives in Los Angeles, I miss spending that time, that fellowship with him, and because we started going to church together when we were 19 in the city. We started going to Bible studies back in the day. We just wanted to do everything right. We didn't want to be influenced by what the world has to offer. We didn't want to be caught up in that Hollywood. Listen, brother, I've been in Hollywood. I've played with people that live in Hollywood. And every time I go to LA, I'd be like, I can't wait to get back to New York because I can't be around this mess.
Well, yeah, I was just having a discussion with some guys on Saturday when I was speaking out at this park.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about, one of the things I was sharing with them was the scripture on the Bible talks about broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many find it, but narrow is the road that leads to life, and only a few find it, right? And that's one of the titles of my book, right? And so I was talking about how so many people mentored me, coached me, guided me to make sure I stayed on the narrow road in my mind, because we're all gonna end up on the wide road, no matter what.
Yeah.
I think every day we get up, we're on the wide road. There's tests, trials, temptation, right? And when you get like me in sports, and you in entertainment, right? That's a whole new, that's a different world than most people live in. So when you in that world professionally, right, you can experience some crazy stuff. So you got to have a narrow mind, right, mindset, or you don't live long.
Yeah. Yeah, man. No, hey, listen, I had my experiences. I had, we've all, a lot of us have gone through it. I knew when I wasn't in the right place, at times, you could feel that you just felt like something was wrong with this, and like I just said, the people that I've been blessed to have around also have a lot to do with, maintaining your success and being, just not being misguided, and I'm blessed, today. I spoke to Cindy Mizell, is a singer that worked with us with Elements of Life, and she's recorded so many records, and she was Luther Vandross's background singer, and now she's with us. But people like that reach out to me just to say, the right things that we need, because we still go through, we wake up every day and we go through things, we go through periods of depression, we go through periods of not knowing, okay, when should I stop doing this? There have been times where by the way, I didn't even mention any of this in this podcast, and when we have good things to say and great things, the time goes by so quick.
Yeah.
I'm going to digress, but I do have great people in my life. That's what I wanted to say still today. I know who my friends are, and I love giving back because of these people through music. I'm an educator also. I teach. I still teach today. I teach 3 days a week at the School of Rock in New Canaan, Connecticut. I teach privately. I've done clinics at schools. That's my way of giving back. I don't do it. They don't pay me enough at times to do what I love to do, teaching, to teach these kids some things that I wasn't taught.
Yeah, and that's the same thing I feel about basketball.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be able to give back the experience you have, the things that you've learned, you want to give it back.
Yeah.
And check this out. We got this little, I think you're doing a little solo here, man.
Oh no! Come on, Lowe's.
Come on. You heard that, right? You heard it for yourself. He said the legendary.
Well, you know what? That was when we were tracking. I said to Louis when we had the meeting about bringing Unlimited Touch back together and recording. We were having dinner in Fort Lee, New Jersey with him, me, Lenny Underwood, and Sandy, our bassist, right before we lost him. And I said to him, can we do a remix of one of the hit songs? He goes, absolutely. He goes, and it's going to be I Hear Music in the Street. And we were like, okay. I said, but can we also do an original? Can we do an original and do something Unlimited Touch today, but with our sound? And if you listen to Music Is My Life when you have a chance after, check it out on YouTube. Music Is My Life. And when I was recording the drum track for I Hear Music, today when people record, all you got to do is go in and play for 60 seconds, and then you just copy and paste, right?
Right.
Computer. And I was like, yo, you going to copy and paste? He goes, no, man, you're playing it like you were doing it back in the day. You're doing the whole thing. So that's why everybody was in the studio, just listening. And I was playing. I just, I played the track. I played the whole track. You
was in the groove, huh?
Well, that's what
it's Unlimited Touch. I Hear Music in there.
What did Patrice say?
She said that song was Unlimited Touch.
Yeah, that was Unlimited Touch. I Hear Music in the Street.
I Hear Music in the Street.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember that.
She said she remember that.
That was our first hit. I hope.
Oh no, that was a jam. That.
No, man. But you got to hear the remix, Lowe's.
Okay.
You got to hear the remix, and then Music Is My Life is killing because the end of the song of that track sounds like Earth, Wind and Fire background vocal. So
yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
So we're still doing it. We're still playing good music. I'm playing better. I feel better about my playing today than I've ever felt. More confident. I've worked on my chops. I still study. I'm just trying to keep it real. if I'm blessed with longevity, I still want to be doing this at the age of 70. I went to see my friend playing drums in Denver, Colorado with my girlfriend. We were on vacation last month, and she says to me, "You know the Rolling Stones are playing in town, right?" And I was like, "Really?" And I know the drummer, Steve Jordan. He's from the Bronx originally. Incredible drummer, producer, you know, and we were watching Mick Jagger. Like, this dude is like almost 80, you know.
And he's still doing it.
And my friend was playing drums, and Steve was the original drummer on Saturday Night Live. Remember back in the days when Saturday Night Live first started? He was the drummer. He's from the Bronx, great drummer, and he's still doing it. You know, so it's just great to be doing what we love to do, and sharing that with people and bringing that love, for music and the right music, because we don't even want to talk about what's going on with music today and the deception and the lies and where it's going,
Yeah.
and where it's gone.
I think Kevin had something that he was saying. Kevin Bunch.
Why do I know Kevin Bunch?
There you go. There's Eddie.
Somebody
Right?
went to college.
Eddie Johnson.
That's true, Eddie.
That is true.
You're right. That's true. Wait, Jagger has that energy. It's true.
Mike Hammett. There's a
Man, appreciate it, Bunch. That's great. No, there's a whole lot. There's a whole lot more. We get loads. We got
Doug
to
wants to know when you're coming to North Carolina.
Loads.
Huh? He said Doug is trying to figure out when you
I
come.
know.
When,
Is
when
that Doug? Is that Doug?
Doug? Yeah,
That's
Dougie
Dougie
Moore.
Doug?
Yeah.
Man, I'll let you know, Doug. But you might need to come up.
And you know Doug back in the day, he used to sing in the group.
Oh, really?
Before he started doing football and basketball and stuff like that. He was he was the lead singer in one of the groups back in the day.
From Mount Vernon?
From Mount Vernon, they had a little group, man. He was in the talent show. They was touring and stuff like that, going all around touring and stuff. Man.
You want to hear a funny story about talent shows in Mount Vernon? So you remember the Hotel Forum on 2nd Avenue?
2nd Avenue, yes.
Between 1st and 2nd? That was owned by a man named Mr. Rossi. I'll never forget because I went to Catholic school with his son. Anyway, when I started hearing those bands like Sky's the Limit, there was another band. They were from like Nerd Shell, and there were these twin brothers in high school, Marvin May and his other brother, and they were both musicians. The one was the drummer. So when I did the first show at Mount Vernon High School in 9th grade, my freshman year, he came up to me. I'm sorry, it wasn't my freshman year. It was my second year. He came up to me in the hallway before, when we used to hang out before going to class. People hang out in the hallways. And I was hanging out with my crew there. And he came up to me. He goes, "Yo, man, somebody said to me, you want to have a drum battle." And I looked around. I was like, "What? Who told you I wanted to have a drum battle?" I said, "I don't battle anybody, man. I'm just learning, man." I'm like, but he saw the show. He saw the show, and I'm telling you, it was just like Scooter started calling us Baby Earth, Wind, and Fire. That's when we got the name because the show was tight. And Danny sang in that show, and he killed it, man. It was
wow.
But Blade is in North Carolina. Tell him about this.
DJ Blade.
Yeah. Listen, man, I'm proud to be from Mount Vernon.
Yeah, we
I
all are.
I was born in the Bronx, but Mount Vernon changed my family's life. It changed my life. I met the right people. I had the right, people guiding me, people who saw what I had. And Philip also, I'm not talking just myself, but those of us who were doing what we wanted to do music, the Al Jordans, the Richie Leversons,
Let me tell you something. Al Jordan will show up anywhere. We don't even know how Al Jordan got in stuff.
He didn't have a driver's license.
I know. I don't know how. I was at the Nets game. I was playing with the Nets, and there was Al. Right. I was at the Garden, and I was going for a layup. Right. And Al was standing behind the basket. I was like, "What? Where did Al come from?"
There's Waldo. Where's
Yeah.
Waldo? He's right there.
Yeah. Oh
Yo, that
man,
is funny, man.
Al's the best, man.
Al,
He would
so
just show
when
up.
Unlimited Touch hit, we were doing shows at like the Copacabana in New York. We were hosting like once a month. They loved us at the Copa in New York, and 98.7 Kiss had Chuck. I forgot what Chuck, the DJ, but we were one of his favorite bands. And Junie, we called him Junie. We called Al Jordan Junie Jordan.
Oh yeah, because it was Junie.
And Junie would call. He wouldn't even call. He'd come to my house. He knew my parents, and my father loved him. You know, and he'd come by. He'd knock on the door. You know, ring the buzzer. It's me. It's Junie, and come out. And he'd be like, Tony, what time are you leaving tomorrow for the show for Unlimited Touch? He would ride with me. I would drive down. And he wanted to go. You know, and I'd take him. You know, and everybody loved them, you know, because Stephanie was in the band and she knew Jordan Al from high school. But those people, like, were big, they were major influences. You know, the Richie Leverses, the Al Jordans, the Bits and Pieces, you know. Those were my inspirations in high school. When Crown Heights Affair came, and they ended up, they produced Unlimited Touch, right?
Oh, Crown Heights
Affair, Ray Reid and Burt Reid, if you look at the credits, they were our producers. They heard us rehearsing. This is before Stephanie, I know we only got 4 minutes, but I'm going to say it in 4 minutes. When they heard us playing as a rhythm section in the studio on West 30th Street, Manhattan, Kool and the Gang used to rehearse on the same floor. There would be like all these, and there were the four of us, these young kids out of high school and first year college. And that was the beginning of Unlimited Touch. And we used to play instrumental music. We were writing songs. We were writing jazz songs. We were doing all. And then Burt Reid and Ray Reid heard us, and they opened the door one day and they said, "Oh, sorry, we disturbed you. Can we just check you all out for a minute?" And they did. And then the next day they came back and they go, "How would you all like to be produced by us?" We were like, "Yeah." They said, "Only thing, you got to get some female singers." And I looked at Philip, and I said to him, "Stephanie and Cynthia James." And that's what happened. You know, that's how that happened. Stephanie, and then Cynthia quit. You remember Cynthia, Stephanie's sister? You remember Stephanie James?
I do.
So Stephanie had a sister, and Stephanie will tell you that Cynthia is a better singer than she is.
Wow.
Like Cynthia was like Aretha Franklin in a small body.
Yeah.
And she recorded I Hear Music in the Street with Stephanie. Nobody knows that Cynthia James and Stephanie James are singing on I Hear Music. Audrey, who eventually came to the band when she auditioned, is the lead singer on Searching to Find the One. So there's that little story inside. Nobody knows that.
Man, we exploded in terms of basketball, and then of course you got Denzel who came along and just exploded, and then the whole music in Mount Vernon. Most people don't know how powerful music was.
Yeah.
You know,
it was.
I mean, from the parties in Mount Vernon, the DJs in Mount Vernon.
Absolutely.
I mean, my wife could tell you, man, we couldn't, when they said we had an assembly, right? Man, we couldn't wait for the assembly because either the gospel choir was going to sing.
Yeah, Mr. Paxton's gospel choir.
Yeah, Mr. Paxton.
Mr. Paxton's gospel
Oh,
choir.
my God. They were so good. I remember Cheryl Brownlee.
The musicians in the gospel choir were Eric Seals, who passed away. We lost him too soon.
I remember Eric Seals.
And Earl Campbell was a drummer. And then Danny Humphreys on guitar. They had a killer rhythm section in the gospel choir.
Oh, yes, they did.
Killer.
Yep. And then when Bits and Pieces started performing,
Yep.
and then Sky's the Limit started performing. I mean, oh yeah, everybody was performing everywhere, man. And then shows like the Manhattans came to Washington Junior High School.
Yeah. Patti LaBelle.
Patti LaBelle.
LaBelle came.
Oh yeah, no, there was good times in Mount Vernon.
Yeah, we could listen. We need to do this again and have Stephanie and Phil on the podcast.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Can you do that? Can you do like?
Yeah, I could do that.
You could do like we can do a face thing.
Yeah, we could do that.
I'll get them. They'll do it. They'll be more than happy. If I tell them Lowe's, they'll be like, "Oh, like the basketball star." I was like, yeah, I didn't get an autograph from him, man. I couldn't even get close to him in high school. Hey, listen, and you know what? I want to say one thing before we finish. I want to say that James Jones was a great man. That was another guy. He was quiet, and he would say, "Man, there were beautiful people in high school. I had beautiful people. I was protected in high school. By the way, I was
Yeah.
protected.
We all were protected.
I was protected. I was really
Yeah.
protected. You know,
'Cause you couldn't.
You know who really protected me?
Who?
My freshman year, I was this little Puerto Rican skinny kid at a Catholic school. Public high school was like Disney. I went looking for my locker in the gym second week, and then these two Jamaican dudes came to rob my trade tokens and my money. And G-Boy was walking through the locker room he was late to gym class. And he knew me from playing with Sky's the Limit. And he's like, "Yo, Tony, you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, G-Boy, but they want my trade tokens and my money." That is a funny story. And G-Boy just grabbed the both of them by their collars and threw them up on the lock. He goes, "For the next 4 years, you better not touch this man right here." And I was never.
I remember G-Boy.
Yeah, man.
Well, Tony. Yeah, let's do this again, man.
Yeah, man, Lowe's, this has been amazing, brother.
Yes, sir.
Not
And
enough time. I was like, what am I going to say in an hour and 30 minutes?
a whole lot.
I appreciate it, man.
But it was good, man. Good catching up. And
Yeah,
hey, Trees, we gonna make that a date.
Absolutely.
September the 1st.
I'm going to be bugging you guys about it. So
Okay.
I got your phone number.
All right, man. Hold on for a second, man. Keyboy, man. People are popping names. Yeah,
Yeah,
Jackson
I was
5.
Pamela, I was at that show with my mother. My mother took us to see the Jacksons.
Yeah.
I was looking through the fence.
I was there
No,
too.
I was
That
there. I was there.
Tavares was there too.
Oh, you just killed it, Patrice. I was going to say, you know who opened up? Tavares. And that drummer that played with Tavares, I'll never forget that. I can tell you what drums he was playing till this day. His pocket, the way he was playing, woo.
We had on the show, he's all the way in Dean.
The drummer from Tavares?
No. You know Dean Bowman?
Dean Bowman.
We had him on the podcast. He was in another country.
He's in Romania. Ask me how. So Dean was my next door neighbor in Mount Vernon.
Wow.
And I just went to Romania 6 years ago twice to play with him.
Oh, no.
Patrice, you went to school with Dean?
I graduated with Dean.
The voice of God.
Ask him. Just say Tony Cintron. What do you know about? That's my brother.
Yeah, Dean. When we were playing basketball in high school, he used to be our manager for the girls' basketball team, and he would be on the bus singing all the way to the games.
Yeah.
And you know that I didn't find out that he was a singer until 1987.
Wow.
And I heard him on a CD, and I called my brother, and I said, "David, did you hear this record that Dean is singing on?" He goes, "No." And then, anyway, and I got to go to Romania just like 5-6 years ago. I went there to do my own thing, had my own group, did a jazz thing, and then I played with him. He's a great brother. And you know what he's doing out in Romania, Lowe's?
He's teaching, I think.
No, he conducts a Romanian gospel choir doing black spirituals, American black spirituals.
Oh, yeah.
They sing in English. They don't even speak English. They sing the spirituals in English, and he's the director. And they do concerts. It's amazing.
Yeah, he was on, what's that? America's...
Yeah, America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Romania.
Romania Got Talent.
Romania Got Talent. Yeah.
No, Dean's he's like a little brother.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
That's
Let's
my
do this
dude.
again, man. Hold on
Yes,
for a
sir.
second. Hold on for a pause for a second. I'm going to close out. Man, I want to say I had a great time tonight. Tony, I knew it would be great, you know.
I didn't know what to expect, but this has been amazing.
Yeah. And, man, I want to thank everybody for their comments, man. And I want to thank everybody for their support of the Blueprint each and every week. Man, I want to say I love you guys, man. And I look forward to seeing you next week. I got Jeff Dixon, right? I'm here twice.
That's all right.
I'm nice. I got Jeff Dixon. I got Jeff Dixon on next week, manager for Ludacris and many other entertainers. Man, he's come through the Boys and Girls Club, Mount Vernon High School. He was at the reunion. We had a reunion in Charlotte, North Carolina.
You went to that?
I didn't go. We had to do a marriage retreat.
Okay.
I did a show with Wally and Daryl. I did a podcast before the reunion, and man, the reunion was wow. It was crazy. I saw the video. Woo! I'm not gonna miss the next one, but I want to say, God, yeah, I'm gonna let you know. God bless you guys, man. I love you. Look forward to seeing you guys next week. And check this out: if God allow you to wake up tomorrow, make tomorrow your masterpiece.
Yes,
God
sir.
bless you.
All right, Lowe's.
All right.
Love y'all.
Love you too, man.
All right, man. Peace. See you soon, Patrice. See you soon, Patrice.
All right. All right.
All right, y'all take
September
care.
1st.
September 1st.
I'll be in touch before that with you.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Lowe's More, the Blueprint Podcast. Stay connected and follow us at our website, www.lowesmore.com. That's LOWESMOORE.com. You can also join the discussion on Twitter at Lowe's More and on Facebook at Lowe's More Jr. As always, thank you for pushing your mindset towards a better reality. This concludes the most thought-provoking portion of your day. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast to stay fully up to date with everything we're up to. Until next time, be kind to yourself and each other.
What they teaching is a joke. I ain't buying it like I'm broke. Insufficient funds for insignificant terms.